float plane. On October 11, 2012, a float plane capsized in Glen Lake, New York, while undergoing a biannual flight review. The pilot, Roger Jackson, and the flight instructor, Richard J. Bovey, escaped without injury, but the plane remained upside down on the surface of the water. The local emergency services attempted to flip the plane over, but their efforts were unsuccessful and resulted in the plane sinking to the bottom of the lake. The Warren County Sheriff's Department then contacted a professional underwater recovery dive team led by Rich Morin to retrieve the aircraft the next day. The dive team consisted of 4 members, each with a specific role and expertise. They used specialized equipment such as airbags, lift bags, ropes, and pulleys to cradle and lift the plane from the lake bed. They also had to deal with the challenges such as poor visibility, cold water, and potential hazards from the plane's fuel and oil. The recovery process took about 4 hours, and the plane was successfully brought to the shore, where it was inspected by the FAA and the NTSB. The plane was then transported to a nearby airport for further investigation. The cause of the capsizing was determined to be a malfunction in the right side pontoon, which began to sink during a water takeoff. The dive team received praise from the authorities and the media for their professionalism and efficiency. Morin said that the underwater recoveries require a very specialized, highly trained team, and that safety is always their #1 priority. He also expressed his relief that no one was hurt in the incident and that the plane was recovered without further damage. Classic cars. One of the most intriguing cases of vehicles found underwater is the story of a Mazda RX-7 and a 1973 Mustang Mach-1 that were discovered in a river in Portland, Oregon. These 2 classic sports cars were rumored to have been dumped by a girl who caught her boyfriend cheating on her, but the truth behind their fate remains unknown. The Mazda RX-7 and the Ford Mustang Mach-1 were both iconic models of their time, representing the best of Japanese and American engineering and design. The RX-7 was sleek, rotary-powered coupe that debuted in 1978 and became a popular choice for enthusiasts and racers. The Mustang Mach-1 was a high-performance variant of the legendary pony car that featured a powerful V8 engine and distinctive styling cues. The 2 cars were found by a team of divers from Adventures with Purpose, a YouTube channel that specializes in recovering vehicles from underwater locations. The divers were alerted to the presence of the cars by a local fisherman who had spotted them with his sonar. The cars were submerged in about 20 feet of water near a boat launch that was known to be a dumping ground for unwanted vehicles. The divers first pulled out the RX-7, which was in relatively decent condition considering it had been underwater for decades. The car still had its license plate, which indicated it was registered in 1984. The divers speculated that the car could have been stolen or abandoned by its owner. The Mustang Mach-1, however, was a different story. The car was severely rusted and damaged, and it took several attempts to bring it to the surface. The car had been filled with mud and rocks, adding thousands of pounds to its weight. It also had some aftermarket modifications, such as long tube headers and a custom hood scoop, suggesting that it had been a cherished customized ride. The divers were curious about the history of the cars, and they tried to find out more information from the local authorities and the online community. They learned that the cars had been in the river since at least the late 1980s, and that they had been reported as missing by their owners. However, they could not confirm the rumor that the cars had been dumped by a scorned girlfriend, nor could they find out who she was or why she did it. The mystery of the Mazda RX-7 and the Ford Mustang Mach-1 remains unsolved. The divers hope that their videos will shed some light on the case and maybe even reunite the cars with their rightful owners. The divers also hope that their efforts will raise awareness about the environmental impact of dumping vehicles in the water and inspire others to join them in cleaning up the rivers and lakes. Would you rather drive the Mazda RX-7 or the Ford Mustang Mach-1? Let us know in the comments and hit subscribe while you're at it. Submerged vehicles in South Florida Lake. A team of divers who specialize in missing persons cold cases made a shocking discovery in a South Florida lake on August 6, 2023. They found about 30 vehicles submerged in the water, some of which had been reported stolen decades ago. The divers, who belong to a non-profit organization called United Search Corps, were searching the lake in Doral for vehicles connected to unsolved cases they were investigating. They had a list of hundreds of locations to check, and the lake was one of them. To their surprise, they stumbled upon a large number of sunken cars ranging from old models to newer ones. They immediately alerted the police, who arrived on scene with cranes and tow trucks. The Miami-Dade Police Department and the Doral Police Department joined forces to recover the vehicles from the lake and conduct a thorough investigation. They also received assistance from the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. According to the police, 4 of the vehicles that have been recovered so far were linked to stolen vehicles reported out of different jurisdictions within South Florida, dating as far back as 1996. The vehicle identification numbers of each car will be reviewed to determine which department will take on the case. The police have not ruled out any possibilities of what they might find in the remaining vehicles. They said they have no reason to believe that there are any human remains in the cars, but they're not sure if the cars were involved in any other crimes, such as armed robberies or homicides. The founder of the United Search Corps, Doug Bishop, said that none of the vehicles they found were related to the cases they were working on, but he hoped that their discovery would also help solve some other mysteries and bring closure to some families. The search and recovery operation is still ongoing, and the police are asking anyone with information about the vehicles to contact them. The Everggiven. The Everggiven was a massive container ship that got stuck crossing the Suez Canal on March 23, 2021, blocking one of the most important trade routes in the world. The ship was carrying more than 20,000 containers from China to the Netherlands when it veered off course due to strong winds and poor visibility. The ship's bow and stern became lodged in the canal's sandy banks, creating a huge obstacle for hundreds of other vessels waiting to pass through the canal. The rescue operation involved a combination of tugboats, dredgers, diggers, and salvage experts who worked tirelessly for 6 days to free the ship. The tugboats used cables and their own engines to pull and push the ship, while the dredgers and diggers removed mud and sand from under the ship's hull. The salvage experts coordinated the efforts and monitored the ship's condition. The operation also relied on the natural forces of the moon and the tides, which helped to raise the water level and create more space for the ship to move. The breakthrough came on March 29th, when the ship's stern was dislodged from the western bank of the canal. The tugboats then managed to rotate the ship and align it with the canal's direction. The ship's bow was finally freed from the eastern bank and the ship was towed to a nearby lake for inspection. The canal was reopened for traffic and the backlog of ships was gradually cleared. The rescue of the Everggiven was a remarkable feat of engineering and teamwork that averted a potential crisis for global trade and the Egyptian economy. The incident also highlighted the vulnerability of the Suez Canal and the need for more safety measures and contingency plans to prevent such accidents in the future. The Suez Canal Authority claimed almost $1 billion in compensation from the ship's owner, but the dispute was settled in July 2021 and the ship was allowed to leave Egypt. Project Aoran. Project Aoran, a covert operation executed by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, stands as a testament to the audacity of Cold War espionage. The mission's objective was nothing short of extraordinary: to retrieve a sunken Soviet submarine, the K-129, from the depths of the Pacific Ocean. The saga began in 1968, when the K-129, a Gulf II-class submarine armed with 3 SS-N4 nuclear ballistic missiles, embarked from the Petropavlovsk naval base on Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula. Tragically, the submarine and its crew vanished shortly after setting sail. The U.S. located the wreckage approximately 1,800 miles northwest of Hawaii, resting 16,500 feet beneath the ocean's surface. The potential intelligence windfall from recovering the submarine was too significant for the CIA to ignore. The agency embarked on one of the most intricate, costly, and clandestine operations of the Cold War era, with an estimated price tag of $800 million. The engineering challenge was formidable: to hoist a 1,750-ton, 132-feet-long section of the submarine from the ocean floor over 3 miles below the surface. The solution involved a large mechanical claw to secure the hull and a robust hydraulic system on a surface ship for the lift. The Hughes Glomar Explorer, a ship disguised as a commercial deep-sea mining vessel, was essential to the operation. Secretly financed by the CIA, the ship was equipped with an oil-drilling rig-like derrick, a pipe transfer crane, 2 towering docking legs, a massive claw-like capture vehicle, and a central docking well. In 1974, the Hughes Glomar Explorer achieved partial success, retrieving a portion of the K-129. However, a malfunction in the grapple caused a significant section of the recovered submarine to break off during the lift. Despite this, Project Aoran remains a symbol of extraordinary measures nations will undertake in the pursuit of intelligence supremacy. Transair Flight 810. Transair Flight 810 was a cargo plane that crashed into the Pacific Ocean near Honolulu, Hawaii on July 2, 2021, after experiencing engine problems shortly after takeoff. The two pilots were the only occupants of the Boeing 737-200, survived the ditching, and were rescued by the Coast Guard. The National Transportation Safety Board launched an investigation into the accident, the recovery of the wreckage, and the flight recorders. The recovery operation was challenging due to the depth and location of the debris, which was scattered over a large area about 2 miles from the shore. The NTSB contracted a private company, Sea Engineering, to conduct the underwater search and recovery using remotely operated vehicles and divers. The operation also involved coordination with the Federal Aviation Administration, the Coast Guard, the Navy, and the state of Hawaii. The operation began on October 12, 2021, and took nearly 3 weeks to complete. The ROVs located and retrieved the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder from the ocean floor at depths of about 420 feet, respectively. The ROVs recovered the forward fuselage, the engines, the landing gear, and other parts of the aircraft. The divers assisted with attaching cables and lifting bags to the debris and also collected biological samples from the site. The recovered items were transported to a secure facility for further examination and analysis. The NTSB stated that the CVR and the FDR were in good condition and contained valuable information for the investigation. The NTSB also said that the recovery operation was successful and thanked all the parties involved for their cooperation and assistance. The NTSB is expected to release a final report on the accident in the future, which will include the probable cause and the contributing factors. The preliminary report, which was released in August of 2021, indicated that the pilots misidentified the damaged engine and used only the damaged engine for thrust during the flight, resulting in an unintentional descent and forced ditching. The report also suggested that the pilot's crew resource management, workload, and stress were factors in the accident. Thanks for watching. Which one of these accidents would you be most excited to dive? Tell us in the comments and remember to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.